You know, for the longest time, I've been wanting to give the Cold Steel Bushman a shot. In this video, I'm gonna do just that. Stick around. I appreciate everyone taking time to click on this video. I want to take a moment to greet everyone. I want to thank all of my subscribers and welcome all the new visitors here to 411 Outdoors. I hope you find this content helpful and resourceful. Let's get going on this project. It's hard to beat a good spear. You know, a spear is a top-notch survival tool. It was one of the most formidable weapons there ever was in ancient battle. It's something incredibly fun to throw. And there's a lot of different ways that you can go about having a spear. You can go out in the woods and just cut a straight stick, make the end of it sharp, and fire hard in the tip. I don't consider that a throwing spear by no means, but it's very handy in a survival situation. And you can go out and pay big dollars for a spear. You can get one that's full tang, just steel all the way down. I'd like to get one of those one day, but not willing to come off the price for it just yet. There's also other kinds of spears out there that are made of steel that are not full tang. They're attachable, and they cost a little bit more as well. Or you can just go out there and buy a steel tip, which I have bought one, but it didn't come with a screw hole. I didn't feel like putting a screw hole in it. So I've been in the market for a spear tip with a screw hole. That led me to the Cold Steel Bushman, in which I would like to give a shout out to Addicted to Blades. He's the first one I ever saw use that. You ought to go out and check out his channel, Addicted to Blades. This man knows how to slice and dice. He's got a huge collection of blades. He's always pulling off some really cool slicing tricks. Go out and check out his channel. He's a great guy. So here's the package that the Cold Steel Bushman comes in. You know, there's your specs right there. 7-inch blade, 12¼ inches overall in length, 9.8 ounces, high carbon steel, blade 2.5 millimeter thickness. All right, let's start getting a breakdown. So here's our sheath. And what I like about this is they provide directions here. Danger, do not grip above this line, because you can see this thing can come out from the side. You can get cut and it'll cut you wide open. This is a dangerous piece, so you want to grab this, you know, down low underneath this line and pull away from you. As you can see, this thing is razor sharp, just like with all cold steel products. That's just razor sharp. Now what I have done is attach this to just a handle that I bought from Home Depot. Not as tall as I am, but the blade is up a little higher than my neck area here. I actually prefer it to be a little bit longer, but this will do. But I've attached it to this pole using the screw. Now, as far as carving the stick, you're just gonna have to take your time. You can always take a little bit more off, but you can't add any wood back on. So what I did was I measured this from here to here, which is 4 inches, and I just measured my stick down 4 inches and started making an angle carve, just little by little. And as you carve, try to fit it into the end of this thing. See how far you can get it up. You'll get an idea as to where you need to kind of carve some of the edge off to get it as far up into this as you can. I want to let you see that. I didn't get it all the way through, but I got it far enough in there. You want it to be nice and tight. In fact, before I even put this screw on, I had this fastened on here so tight that I couldn't even pull it off anymore. All right, let's talk safety with regards to putting a spear tip on, because, you know, it's so easy and so tempting sometimes to get on these things and start putting your weight on it. You know, you're messing around with it like this, putting your weight. You don't want to do that. You can slip off of it and stab yourself. It could even be fatal. So you're always pushing into it this way. You know, you may not feel like you're getting quite as much leverage, but you'll get it in there far enough to the point to where you can put this screw in. But just like with any blade, you want that thing pointing away from you. You don't ever want to be in a situation where you can slip and fall and a blade can come into you. I also want to revisit the height of the spear. I know I said something about this earlier, but you know, this right here is as short as I would want this to go. If I was walking on this and I tripped, I wouldn't impale myself. If you had the spear too low, if the spear point was here and you was to trip and fall, you could impale yourself. As I mentioned, I'd prefer it being a little bit higher, but unfortunately my stick is not that long and I want to use this stick. I like the way it looks. It's got a good uniformity to it and it's pretty straight. But I'll settle for this, but I would prefer it being a little higher. But whatever you do, just make sure your blade is not down here where you can fall on it and pierce yourself in the neck if you're walking through the woods and you step in a hole or whatever. This is excellent for cutting out of reach limbs. defending against a wild animal. This blade is big enough and sharp enough and tough enough to be formidable against any attacking animal. I'm sure we could name a ton of things that this spear would be very useful for. At this time, I want to try to slice a water bottle with it. As you can see, beautifully clean cut. An absolute brutal weapon. If somebody ever comes after you with something like that, you don't have a very definitive way to defend yourself, run, run, run as fast as your little legs can carry you. Climb a tree, do something. The Bushman doesn't have to get put on a spear. It can be held as a knife. It's not the most comfortable handle, but it can be used as a knife. It's a big knife, and it's only like $24 to get one. You can keep it in the sheath until you're ready to attach it to a spear. Now, you know my favorite part of every product test is a throw test. I've got this screwed in here and I've got it wedged in there pretty tightly, so hopefully it'll hold, but I'll tell you, you want to test the durability of something, throw it. Let's get some throws in. I imagine the penetration on this is going to be super crazy. I was right. Whether the Bushman is used for survival or recreation, it's an absolute blast. And I forgot to mention too, it does come with a ferro rod here for fire starting. Just a really awesome piece of equipment for 24 bucks. Get a lot of use out of it and have a whole lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Maybe I missed something. Nevertheless, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.